Poison damage or fire damage? If you've played Assassin's Creed Odyssey for any amount of time, I'm sure you're wondering which is going to be better for your playstyle and in this game. In this video, we are going to be breaking down all of the differences between these two different elemental effects and which is going to be best for you depending upon your equipment, your playstyle, and whether you use tameable animals or not. Join me to learn more. So first things first, welcome, I'm Shappy, and today we are talking about poison and fire damage in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you're new to the channel, be sure to drop a like on this video and hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner. Now, the first thing you need to know about poison damage and fire damage is that they are very different from each other, and there are a couple different ways you can activate them. So first things first, there are two skills for each. So there's the fire mastery, and then there's the flaming attacks. Same thing for poison. You have poison mastery and then you have venomous attacks. Now, you do not need to necessarily have both of these at max level because there are pieces of equipment that will actually automatically default your damage, whether it's arrows or melee, to using fire or poison. So just keep that in mind. You do not necessarily need the flaming attacks or the venomous attack skill. You can actually skip both of those and not worry about it at all. I do know there are some people that like to use them, but personally, I would much rather have a piece of equipment that's just going to give it to me by default and save me the time. So the real skills that you're going to want to look at here are fire mastery and poison mastery. And I'm going to be going through and I'm going to actually max both of these to show you how each of these is going to work with the right equipment and with the right sets, so be sure to stick around for that. If you want to jump to that, check the chapter just below. Now, so let's actually talk about what those pieces of equipment are. So there are a couple main things that you're going to want. So the first thing is there are weapons that are specific to these skills. So the first one that you're going to want to look at is probably going to be the weapon. So you can see here that there is actually an enchantment here to make weapon damage become poison damage. You can apply this to any weapon that you have. You can also have that enchantment for weapon damage to become fire damage. And we are going to go through and we're going to test both of these and we're actually going to leverage them as well. Now, I also like Pandora's Copus because it also lets me have some animals come and help me. I don't like the hunter damage, but it is what it is. You can really get whatever you want here, but just keep that in mind. Now, there are a couple of other things you could use. You could use the Hammer of Hephaestus here, which gives you elemental damage in exchange for physical damage, but personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Now, in order to get that weapon damage becomes fire damage, you need the Mallet of Everlasting Flame. Now, in order to get the Mallet of Everlasting Flame, you need to kill a mercenary with the term the Smoldering in their description. So you see how it says Clite the Hoplite Killer, or if we go over here, you have some undiscovered ones, Thessala, the Image Fighter, Molines, Son of the Sun. So you need to find a mercenary with the term the Smoldering. That is who is going to give you that enchantment. That's what you want if you are looking for that fire enchantment. Now, the weapon that's going to give you the poison damage enchantment is going to be Arachne Stingers. Now, one thing I will say, at least in my experience, I got Arachne Stingers long before I managed to get the Mallet of Everlasting Flame. So just keep that in mind if you are trying to get these weapons, that one is going to be easier to come by than the other. Now, you don't necessarily have to use these weapons. Again, you can change the enchantment onto any other weapon. Personally, I like Pandora's Copus because I run a legendary beast, but you can do whatever you want. But these are the ones that you're going to need. Now, Arachne Stingers, you are going to get from, again, a mercenary, but this mercenary is going to be using the Weaver, right? So we have Clite the Hoplite Killer. You're going to want to kill whoever the Weaver. That's who's going to give you Arachne Stingers, which again is a great weapon. So if you're starting out in the game and you want to be running either of these, you want to make sure that you get those things early because that's going to be critical for you to have success in this game. So once you have that, you may be wondering, okay, so we got that enchantment for the swords or whatever weapon we want to use. What about the bow? Well, there are bows that have these as well. So you can see I'm using on my Sterapi's bow, I have basic armor, basic arrows become fire arrows. There's also the Hades bow, which is the one that actually gives you this enchantment. Now the Hades bow, again, does take a little bit longer to get in my experience. And this comes from a mercenary that is called Of the Ashen Wake. So again, similar vibe here, you need to kill a mercenary with a particular title. Of the Ashen Wake is going to give you Hades bow. In my playthrough, I did get this later than I did get the Fanged bow. The Fanged bow, you can actually get in a chest in a cave of Mount Zaz. Let me show where that is on the map. So you are going to find that weapon right here in the cave of Mount Zaz, and that is on Naxos. And you can actually get there pretty early on in the game, but this is pretty much a guaranteed drop, and you're going to be able to get that there. So that's where you're going to be going through and getting that bow. Again, you can put that enchantment on any other bow. You can put it on the Bighorn bow if you want to do that as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the Bighorn bow, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I will be making a video talking all about why the Bighorn bow is so overpowered. Long story short, it uses warrior instead of hunter damage for your bow. But the Fang bow is going to come from there. So now we have a weapon and a bow that are both going to give us an enchantment to actually action on these skills. And that is why we no longer need those abilities. So we can upgrade the ability for mastery, which we're probably going to do because we want things to build up, but that's where we're going to get those. Now, as part of our testing today, we're going to be running 2 equipment sets. The first one is going to be the Viper/Snake set. Now, the Snake set gives you additional poison damage, and I'm going to upgrade everything so it's all the same level across both sets, so don't worry. And the Snake set is specifically built to help with poison damage. So you have intoxicated damage, you have elemental buildup, you name it, it's here. So this is the first set that we're going to get. Now you may be wondering, Chappy, how do I actually go about getting the Snake set? Well, the Snake set is going to come, and spoiler alert here, we're going through cultists. The Snake set you're going to get from clearing this first branch of the Cult of Cosmos. So I'm sorry if I've spoiled this for you, but this is actually where you're going to get the Snake set. So if you want to make sure that you're getting this set as early as possible, focus on this top left branch here. Now for the Agamemnon set, which is the second set that we are going to be testing today, let's go over here. The Agamemnon set has a fire bonus, so that is 100% burning rate. And to get the Agamemnon set, you need to clear a different branch within the cultist tree. And let me show you which one that is. To get the Agamemnon set, you want to kill the branch just below. So you have all of these folks here. This is the Silver Vein, the other is the Eye of Cosmos. And you can actually do both of these pretty early on in the game. So you just need to keep that in mind. But those are very easy sets to get. You get them by killing these cultists. So today we're going to be going through, we're going to test the Snake set and the Agamemnon set against one enemy. I'm going to level up a sword or something like that, and we'll use a sword with the enchantment for poison and then for fire, and we will kill a mercenary. We're going to see exactly how long it takes, and we're going to talk about why poison versus fire, which is going to be better. Okay, so we're finally ready. I needed to get all sorts of materials, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through and we're going to upgrade the Agamemnon set to my current level. We're going to make sure we don't have any additional enchantments that could disrupt this, but we're really focusing on sword damage and on the actual fire protection, fire damage set. We're going to do the same thing for the Viper set. Now our quarry is this one mercenary over there. We're going to attack him. We do not have any of these abilities. We're not going to use them, right? So we don't have any poison buffs or fire buffs. And we're going to see just raw exactly which damage factor kills the enemy faster and which I can more comfortably actually deal the damage. So we're gonna have a timer going for that as well. So without further ado, let's actually go in and I'm going to upgrade the rest of the Agamemnon set and we can get going. So let's do it. So here we are, we've gone ahead and we've upgraded the Agamemnon set. Now you can see all of them are level 52. Yes, I do have additional armor here, but I don't think that'll make much difference. And additional health here. But the main thing we're focusing on here is the burning rate. And here is the Pandora's Copus. You can see we have it equipped with fire damage. So here's all of our damage outputs right now. And I think we're just about ready to go find this guy and take him out. So let's do that. And this should also give us some nice orichalcum ingots as we go. So let's get this done. Now, one of the other things to keep in mind when you're using a fire set is actually that if you do get hidden, I can actually show you here. If you get hidden with a fire set, one of the things that you need to look out for is actually that if you're crouched in the grasses or something, especially if it's flammable grasses, you can catch yourself on fire. Okay, so let's do it. No stealth. Let's attack.
What do I do?
So you can see Astarte has caught on fire here, which is great. And the difference between poison and fire damage is that poison damage actually reduces increases the target's vulnerability, whereas fire deals direct damage. So I'm just fighting as I would normally. Where to go? Again, we're just going through here. Normal damage. Okay. So there we go. Target is dead. My lion is fighting this. And that's dead too. Okay, stop the clock. So that's what we got there. That's with fire damage. Now we're going to actually reload the save and we're going to do poison damage instead. So let's see how that compares. So now we're on our poison set. We're going to go through, we're going to level up all of these. So we just have the poison damage here. You notice we didn't use any bows last time, and we're still going to be using the Pandora's Copus. Our weapon is not changing here. So here we go. Let's upgrade this. Let's upgrade this. And let's upgrade this. So now, yep, level 52 on everything. Let us go find our quarry. Now the difference that I expect here, again, the poison damage is much better for stealth, and it also leverages your assassination ability rather than your warrior damage, which is what fire damage does. However, poison does not deal, I don't think, nearly as much damage directly when we talk about actual just damage accrual and rote damage dealt. It really gets that bonus from just the amount of damage reduction. So in theory, with poison damage, I should be able to kill this target a little bit faster. So without further ado, we're not doing stealth anything. We're just going to hop over. And there we go. So already my damage output feels way higher. And the poison is doing a ton of damage to the leopard. And my lion has already killed the leopard. Wow. Same weapon. Same weapon. And we got our orichalcum. So we can play those side by side here, and you can see exactly how long it took. I'm going to speed it up for you. But the general consensus here is that poison is going to be better, especially for single target fights and at later levels than the fire damage is, because you do want to have the ability to improve your damage dealt from your weapon. And especially if you are planning on using lieutenants, I had a video talking about lieutenants and killing mercenaries with them on the top right side of your screen, or if you're using alpha animals, that damage reduction helps across the board. So whether you're using bows, you're using your swords, you're using any other weapon, you deal a lot more damage a lot faster when you do have that poison effect. If you've enjoyed this video, this took me a ton of time to make, do be sure to hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right hand corner. Hit the bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. Thank you all. Shappy out.